Welcome back to IWIFA TV. You're here with me, Wesley Jeff, and
Gabriela Loredi.
And right now, we're going to delve into the most important part of this interview, which is the question on Helb. As mentioned before, the Right Honorable Senator Ekwee Ethuro is the current chairperson of Helb, and today we're going to delve into matters Helb for the sake of the people who are the main consumers of Helb, which are the education and the learners of this country. First question. The main consumers, as stated, are the comrades, as they are constantly called. There's a bit of slight confusion in terms of the status of Helb. Where last year, somewhere in 9th of December, the president said at Masinde Muliro that he would abolish Helb and set up a new funding body dubbed as the National Skills and Funding Council. Is that still the position, or where is the status of that, or how is that possible?
That is still the position. Maybe the word abolish may be too strong. Basically, is to restructure some of these bodies that have been in existence.
Okay.
And the proposal, which was part of the terms of the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms, was that Helb and the University Funding Board and COOPs should be amalgamated. So that they for more efficiency and the rest, which we supported, even our submissions to the working party, and so we're in the process now of doing legislation. You remember it was taken to Parliament and Parliament rejected because Parliament say we don't just deal with the report to go in policy formulation. You deal with a sessional paper, then out of the sessional paper, then you come up with specific legislation. So our legal departments have been meeting to work on it.
Wonderful. So we can satisfactorily say to the comrades that Helb is not being abolished; it's rather being improved.
In fact, it is better than before. So the comrades should be happy.
Wonderful.
You are the current chairperson of Helb. Can you let the viewers know what is the scope of your role as chairman?
First, I want to assure comrades that I have been a comrade and I was a member of SONO, Student Representative Council, during my time. Because I was a class rep for year 1 to the 3rd year, and I was also Helb Chairman year 1 to the 3rd year. So we are at home with comrade issues. My job is just to give strategic direction to the organization in terms of chairing the board meetings, which are required at least 4 times in a year. Like now, we are working on the strategic plan to give it direction. And our strategic plan is now about how to incorporate the new funding model so that we can be able to serve the students better and give them the requisite resources as needed. Because we asked universities to evaluate the courses so that even universities now are doing actual costing of the course. And it's all on the website. You can go and decide, I want to go to do medicine, Uzima, or UON, or Kenyatta University. The choice is yours. Then the funding now is into scholarship and loans. So we'll see how, depending on your other metrics, what kind of support we can be able to give you. So chairman is just to ensure that we have a smooth running of the board. We lobby for more resources to be obtained from the government, and ours is to disburse. And there's something important about Helb which sometimes people don't appreciate. One of the functions of Helb is to create a revolving fund. And now with TVET and the rest, we want to grow that fund. I am imagining a world where we will have grown the revolving fund to the extent that we will require less and less exchequer issues, so that we are just getting money from the people who have loaned the money to.
Wonderful.
To what extent does the new educational funding model affect the structure or operation of Helb?
It has not affected us at all. If anything, it has improved our work in terms of, I said, now we are allocating resources according to the actual cost of courses, which was never the case. We are getting, government has promised us about 40 billion, and we used to get 11 billion. So that shows you the kind of financial outlay that is required in the new funding model. So we were excited about it. Of course, it is just beginning, and I think many people do not really understand what it is. And I think an opportunity like this one is an opportunity also to clarify some of those things.
Wonderful. I'm glad you brought up the issue of the new funding model, because when the president came into power, he was intent on trying to shift and change or streamline issues in the educational sector. So within the last year, in 2023, when the Presidential Working Party was taking opinions from people, here at UN, I went to present some concerns or some opinions on some changes that would be made. And one of my presentation was based off the fact that a lot of comrades talk about how the allocation of Helb itself is quite little and not enough. And during that time, as we did the research for that presentation, we found that there was already an existing proposal in 2021 by the Kenyan ministry through Ringera and Abukwesi to increase the loan limit to 200,000 shillings from the then limit of 37,000 shillings, which was termed by the ministry as too little by their own reports. Is this still possible?
Yes, it is still possible. By dint of my training in economics, will tell you resources are scarce. So we are making improvements. Even before that 7, I think the average used to be almost like 30. So we moved to 37. A few years back, we had even gone up to 45. And then we'll complement with a bursary scheme. So what the new funding model is now doing is actually looking at, we have about 5 bands. And so if we really feel you are needy, then you are going to get 70% of that cost of the course as scholarship. And then you will pay the difference. And that difference is what we give you as a loan. And that loan is quite sufficient, what we used to call boom. Or in the initial stages, we used to call it chacha.
Okay, so just to piggyback off that, the current educational model now has found people not being able to understand how it works. You said that the government will assess your neediness in order to assess how much scholarship they're going to give you. So on that note, how does the government do those? How do they pick who is needy? And also, before you answer that, help will often get very late to be disbursed. Sometimes, even when the ministry has ordered that in the next week we'll see disbursement, or even from the presidency. What sometimes causes these delays, as they are quite disenfranchising to students, as some of them actually require this money to move from their rural areas in order they come to maybe the towns to pursue their education.
For the 5 years I've been at the helm of help. I must say we have had very good disbursements. It's only last year, because of the new funding model, that there was a bit of a delay, which we believe now has been mainstreamed. Because the beauty is that the commitment by the president himself on this new funding model, he's driving it.
Yes.
And ensuring that we get the resources that we have been requesting in order to avail to the universities and to the students. But there's been a challenge generally, which we believe over time we should be able to overcome it.
Okay.
One of the main challenges that face Helb is non-repayment culture. Why do you think this is, and what is the solution from where you sit?
Where did you get your information from?
Many.
In fact, let me tell you for free, because that is one of the things we consider at the board meetings. The repayment culture of Kenyans is so good. I have known people here who come and say, how much is it? Want to pay everything. We are doing better than even some banks in terms of the loan portfolio that is not being repaid. So, to me, it's generally good. There are a few people, especially in the informal sector, who get lost, through the cracks, and so that becomes a bit of a challenge. But it's a very minimal percentage. Our recovery is quite good.
Just to add on to Gabriella's question, is the recovery based off the fact that government has mechanism in terms of deductions, or is it the willingness of Kenyans to pay? Because I think
I would say both.
Her question comes from the fact that you hear people saying, "Hiyo kitu sitalipa."
During elections time, you get a bit of pressure, especially from politicians.
Yes.
And I'm one of them. But sometimes I think that is so simplistic. They want to appear good, but they lose the bigger picture. At the end of the day, a child from Turkana or any other marginalized place could not have accessed to university education if it were not for the funding from Helb. So for anybody who just thinks you can throw Helb out of the window and still think that you are going to have equalization in this republic, or that you will not commit any discrimination, you are lying. And that one I can defend, both from a personal experience and by virtue of me being a senior citizen of the republic. And I think that your question also relates to the other one you are saying, how do we determine these things? We have what we call the metric testing instruments, where we look at the poverty level, we look at income of your parents, we look at employment. So now what we have done with the new funding model, we have now structured it into the normal government systems, like KRA, like your income tax.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of metrics. We will even dig to know where you went to school and whether you are from the group of schools or you are from. So it's I mean, we improve systems as we go. We learn and try to implement it. So we are doing better than ever in terms of now getting your statistics.
Okay, we will consider that a myth debunked.
Mheshimiwa, what is your parting shot, keeping in mind the rumor out there that you are going for senatorial seat 2027 in Turkana County?
Treat it as a rumor. Let's deal with 2024.
Yeah.
Because I think Kenyans are preoccupied with the things, and it's a long way to go. My desire one is to see a country that is moving in the same direction, a country that is prosperous, and for the bit of help for me is to ensure that this new funding model, which gives a lot of hope to our people, which does proper costing of the courses, which tries to support students on the basis of that by giving adequate resources, becomes a success.
Wonderful. Any word for the youth who are seeking leadership like ourselves?
If there is one opportunity the youth have in life, it is that stage of your life. You have the energy, you have the idealism, and you want to fight for social justice. I want to encourage every youth. This is your generation. Our generation is exiting. This is your opportunity to get that kind of the future you wanted. Remember, even at independence, people like the late Tom Mboya assumed offices. People like Matiba, they actually assumed offices. Matiba went even to the private sector. Tom Mboya came to the politics. They are all under 30.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Ekwee Ethuro.
And don't forget the age for you to become a president of the Republic of Kenya is only 35.
35.
So it is just when you are finishing the youth according to the constitution.
Wonderful. This has been IWIFA TV. We have been interviewing the magnificent Senator Ekwee Ethuro, first modern Senate Speaker, the 3-term MP Turkana Central, 2-time Assistant Minister, and now the current Chairperson of Helb. You have been with me, Wesley Jeff, and
Gabriel.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.